Howdy friends, excuse me, there are no fish in this video, and it is a frozen thawed mouse feeding for a live snake. It's not a live feeding, however. This is Sandy, of course, that a great friend, Nathan, Sand Creek Aquatics, left behind when he passed away several months ago. The snake is in my care now, and it's just had a shed that wasn't a good shed, so I'm going to work some more on soaking and humidity and substrate and that kind of stuff. But anyway, Sandy has taken to hiding under his water bowl, and he's not really hiding because it's a blue clear plastic, but I'd like to get him a nice bow, but I just haven't found one I like that will fit. He's growing great. He was curled under there, and I turned off most of the lights in here. There's still one tank light on, and sat down, and I had mentioned the last feeding we did about 2.5 weeks ago that he actually has become almost solicitous, and that drew a sarcastic remark from an old man like me that should know better. But what I mean is that he actively engages me to feed him. He was all the way under that, and when I sat down here yesterday and the day before, I noticed him watching me when I went by and taking an interest in me. Normally, unless I have him out, he really pays no attention to me. He likes Tibby the cat, or pays more attention to Tibby than me because they're buddies. They watch each other a lot. So I have him a mouse thawed here, and it's his second adult size mouse of his young life. I hate that he has to eat a mouse, but I'm grateful that, you know, he was brought up on frozen mice, and he has to eat something. He can't starve to death, and that's what he has to eat is mice. So I'm going to go ahead and get the mice out. You can see it in the reflection. I thought I was being clever there. And I usually sometimes use tongs, but I've dropped the mouse a couple of times. So I'm just going to hold it by the tail, and I've already washed my hands good before I came in here. Usually when he hears the top begin to unlock, he gets a lot more animated. There we go. And let me move that. It's going to have a reflection there. And of course he's sniffing, smelling the air with the tongue flicking. And I'm going to see if I can do this without, hang on just a second, without setting the room on fire. Okay. There we go. Almost. You know, everything's hard to do with, yeah, he's all ready to eat. Do know he's a boy, of course, because I had him to the exotic vet several weeks ago. No, you'll get burned on that. No, yeah, he's ready. No, you'll get burned. Let's see if I can do this. I might be able to get away with that. That light's pretty hot, but we went down from 100 watt to a 75. And we'll see here what happens. Oh no, he missed it. Come on. There we go. Good boy. I was still swinging it, so I have to take some, if not all, the responsibility for that near miss. And of course, he's going to constrict on it. He's a python, and he's going to constrict to make sure it's dead, which is a good thing. You know, it wouldn't be fun to be eaten alive. Probably no fun to be constricted to death either. Dharma's just curious about him, but she's not a big fan of his. She's all about it though. Look at that. I don't know where Tibby's at, so you have to stand in for Tibby while he eats, huh? He's trying to be right behind me. A lot of people I've noticed when they feed, a lot of snake keepers, they'll tug on the mouse's tail or take their tongues and rattle it a little bit just to simulate that it's still alive. He doesn't need that stimulation. I don't do that. But he'll get his mouth positioned on its head in a little bit and he'll swallow it down. I'm probably not going to show that. 2.5 weeks ago, he went a little longer this time with a bigger mouse, an adult mouse, which makes sense because he had been going right out every 2 weeks on the little hopper mice and whatever the next stage up was. So that made sense. He had a lot more nutrition to develop. And by the way, most of the time, a healthy ball python is going to be able to get almost all the nutrition it needs. Of course, they need plenty of fresh water changed every day. They need humidity. They need a heat pad underneath. They do actually not have to have a heat lamp, but he came with one, and it had 100-watt light, and when it burned out, I replaced it with 100, and I had set it down here on the table once like I just did that, and in just that 10 seconds it did that. So it burned out again pretty quick, so I picked up a 75 this time. And I think that's much more appropriate for this size tank and all that. He's still got plenty of space. His mat underneath the habitat is on that low height down there, and this height is actually bark, so it holds a lot of humidity. So yeah, he's doing pretty good in here. I'm thinking about, even though those plants look nice, I'm thinking about taking out the green hard one down there. That other one is silk, so I like it in there. And maybe putting some plants in here and some succulents and see how that goes. Just to do it. He looks like, or it's me jerking the camera, he looks like you might be starting to loosen up. But yeah, there's a video back about 2 weeks ago. I don't know the title, but I'm sure it's got ball python in it, and I would say I would link it, but I'm sure I'll forget it. So I'm not one of those super duper YouTubers that does a lot of editing. Anybody that's watched one of my videos knows that. This is what you'll see, exactly what I'm bidding right here. But yeah, I do put some links sometimes in the description, and I might do that, but I'm not going to promise because I'm forgetful. So if you do want to see me eat an adult size mouse, just go right up to the top and search for it on my channel, and it'll be right there if I don't have the link. See, there's part of his shed over here. It was not a good shed. See, it's crumbled up in there. So we've got still some work to do on the humidity in here. Still got work to do on that. He gets spritzed every day in the morning when I come through, but I think as evidenced by, I think I need to spritz him more and maybe do it twice a day. See, I don't want to cause him to get sick or, you know, have a fungus or anything like that. He checked out real healthy at the vet, and he was very cooperative at the vet. I couldn't go in because of the COVID virus, but I was able to talk to the exotic vet on the phone while I sat outside. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and get us a thumbnail here. That will bother a lot of people. So I may hang on a minute and see. I'm very aware that we're coming up on 10 minutes for anybody that's still here. There we go. So this is just his, what do I want to say, not nature, instinct to do this. Mouse has got some long whiskers. See them sticking up there? I do feel badly for the mouse, but you know, I feed my fish frozen shrimp every day, Russian, krill. You know, all of those things were alive. And some people might say they're just shrimp, or it doesn't matter. There's still things that I feed that were alive and were frozen. So the mouse is a mammal, and that is a difference, but he's got to eat. So we'll watch him position it and see how he's walking his jaw. See how his jaw is actually not connected on the bottom half. See how it, watch him walk this mouse. See that? It's not connected in the middle there. That's how they stretch. They don't unhinge their jaw per se, but they can stretch that jaw. See it stretching open there? Yeah. People that have snakes are probably like, yeah, we know that. We've seen it a million times. But it's just really cool. See how he's gonna walk the head in, and he's really pretty. He's just a common or a regular ball python. I think you can get them at Petco, PetSmart, places like that. Or good breeders. I don't know, $50 if that, when they're small. He's rapidly becoming a medium size. He's grown a lot. I'm so glad I brought him out of my area where I keep my dogs and where I am primarily, and on YouTube, and just a lot of racket in the other end of the house. So I'm glad I brought him out here, because he did have a tough time adjusting, not being at Nathan, my friend's house. And it's interesting, he's stretching it up. I don't know that that's, or maybe it just looks stretched from being so constricted. Yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, I've had this mouse in the freezer for probably 2 months. He did this last time. He got it so that he could use gravity to help swallow it. 12.5 minutes. So most people probably left. It's not something that I enjoy watching particularly, but it is. I'm curious to learn about him and make sure he's healthy and all that. So I have watched other people's feeding. I just don't like to watch the live ones. I'm not being judgmental. I just don't have the stomach or the heart for it. I would have a real hard time with him if I couldn't get him to eat these, but luckily that worked out for us both. He was going to strike at that light. He was just hungry. He looks like he's still got a little bit of shed on this eye, maybe. I think so. I'll be misting him down really good as soon as yeah, there's some shed on this eye. Skin covering, whatever. See it there? Pretty sure that is. And the other one doesn't have that. You can see the difference. This one kind of looks hazy in the front half, so I'll be needing to get that off. Or he will, with me helping. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there because we'll be at 15 minutes if I don't, pretty quick. So I appreciate you watching. Several of you ask how he's doing all the time, so I just wanted you guys to see how good he looks, except for this bad shed, but we're all over that. All over that. Camera's not picking up how pretty where his shed is. A little disappointed in that with what this camera cost. His skin almost looks dry and dull, but it's not. It's very radiant. It looks like a gold lame purse or something on top of his head. I used to worry about things like the substrate going down, but with snakes and lizards, they can handle that. It's not a problem. He'll pass it or throw it up. People that know more about this eye than I do, let me know what you think about that. I think that's a shed, but I also know that people sometimes pull their retinas off, specifically with ball pythons. It happens, thinking it's shed, so I'm not pulling anything right now. I'm just going to give him some more moisture. Thanks, guys. 15 and a half minutes. We appreciate you watching. Take care.